At the beginning of each of my live streams, I always like to warm up before I play the game. Especially since it's been about 3 or 4 days since I played Apex, this is a perfect time for me to make a video on my own specific warm-up routine for Apex Legends. Now this may not suit you, this may not suit everyone, but it will cover the general basics of pretty much warming up your hands. It's all it is. This is not something that needs to be practiced for 30 minutes at a time. It's going to take altogether about 10 minutes once you get into the habit of doing it. And as to why a warm-up is important, it's pretty much the same way stretching goes for warming up for athletes. Except you're stretching your fingers in a way just by playing the game and getting used to it a little bit more. Last video, I asked you guys if we could make it so 10% of the viewers watching would be subscribed, and you guys made it to 11%. So thank you so fucking much for that. If you guys want to, we can have a goal for this video and make that maybe 15%. I don't want to shoot crazy high. I'm going by 5% each video. But if we could hit 15% of the viewers watching right now to be subscribed, that would be awesome. So if you are interested in this type of content and the channel, please consider subscribing. Again, it's been 3 or 4 days since I last played this game, so we're in firing range. We're going to slide down this hill here and we're going to grab our weapons. First thing we should be doing is coming down here. All you need is a legendary backpack or purple backpack. Doesn't really matter which one you get. Purple or legendary backpack. You don't need the armor. I just grab a whole line. But I like to start off with the snipers, more specifically the longbow. I take the longbow with a 3x with a purple extended mag, and that is it. What I like to do is go for headshots on each target. So first we go on a headshot on this, simple as that. But then we're gonna switch it up and do a flick to the head. Simple as that. You will miss a bunch of times at first because it's your first time on in a few hours or a few days or even weeks. So don't feel bad if you start missing. And this is something I spend no more than a minute or two on. After the sniper, I like to head over to the second ranged weapon, and that is the Wingman. Now, you want to grab the purple extended mag for this, and you can grab an optic if you want, but it's important to realize that in the beginning of the game, you're not always going to have an optic, so I like to not use an optic for the first half of this. What I like to do, just go for headshots on each legend here, each little mannequin. Pick a target, go for headshots, just like that. Simple enough. Just get a feel for being a bit more accurate with the weapon. These are standing still targets. It's not like they're moving or anything, but you can shoot at the moving ones, maybe flick up to one higher or something like that, or way back there if you want to feel ballsy. But generally, I just stick to the mannequins down below. Then I grab the optic of my choosing. I like the EOTech sight, and you know, go ham with it. Slide around, jump around, go to shoot at these targets at different ranges here. And no skull piercing either. There's no point in having that. We are here to practice and not really, you know, worry about how long it takes to kill someone. And it's just a quick warm-up, just like this. I like to also pair this weapon, after I'm warmed up with the Wingman, with the R99. And again, you want to grab the biggest light mag, so the purple light mag. No barrel stabilizer because we are focused on controlling recoil on the base option. So I don't know why I picked it up, but we need it to be gone. And I like to throw an optic on. You don't need to, but I throw one on once in a while. But I just control recoil at different ranges on these mannequins. Again, there's no barrel stabilizer on this, so it's going to be a little difficult to control recoil, especially if this is your first time warming up like this. But this is all you have to do. Run out of ammo, switch to the Wingman, finish off some shots. Simple as that, right? Next gun I like to pick up is the 301. Why? It's easier to control, especially at range. And the recoil is very different from the R99, and it's more of a slower firing assault rifle, but still just as effective as killing. If you want, you could throw some strafing into there, a little teabag left and right, and finish off with the Wingman, just like that. The reason I go to the 99 and the 301 is because these are my favorite guns. Now, I'm not going to be practicing with the RE45 or the P2020 or even the Scout. If you want to, you can practice with the Scout. It's pretty much just like the longbow, just a faster fire rate, and the alternator is simple enough for me to control, so I don't really need to work on that. The same goes for any of these weapons here. The Prowler, the Spitfire, the Hemlock, the Flatline. I like to use a Prowler a lot, so for example, let's pick up the Prowler here. I usually only use this on burst. However, you can try it with select fire. You definitely want to learn this gun on burst because it's very powerful on burst. It's a faster fire rate on burst, and because you're not always going to get the select fire attachment. So just get a few kills with this, and once you're consistent enough, move on to the next gun. The Flatline, for example, I like to use that gun, so we'll move on. But it seems I have the recoil pretty well managed, so I'm going to move on just from that right there. Now, the Havoc, the L-Star, I really don't bother with because their recoils are simple enough to control. But the last thing I want to cover, guys, is going to shotguns. Now, we could test with the EVA 8 here and the Mastiff, for example. And usually I like to put on only a blue shotgun bolt. The reason being for this is because these guns take a while to shoot without a shotgun bolt, and we're just warming up here. So it's important to get our flicks on point from different angles like this, up, down, on the angles from up and to the right, up and to the left, and left and right. You don't have to be crazy consistent. Again, this is just a warm-up. And with the Mastiff, it's simple as that. And if anyone was curious about the Mastiff being crazy overpowered, I made a video on that, how to use and abuse it to your advantage. There's a card on screen if you would like to check it out. And also, Respawn is probably rethinking putting this as a normal weapon and the Peacekeeper as a legendary one. There's been some talk about that, which I said was probably going to happen because the Peacekeeper really still isn't better than the Mastiff right now. And it's not a bad idea to strafe around these targets like this, especially with the EVA. It does low damage, but you want to be able to track the enemy, the mannequin, with it while you're strafing, for example. So when you get in gunfights with it, or any shotgun, or any gun that is, you're still able to track your enemy pretty fairly. And that pretty much sums up my warm-up routine. Now, I'm not really practicing movement and stuff, I'm just practicing my aim because I'm pretty fluid with my movement. However, for movement, you could just practice running around, picking up attachments and looking back up to chest level. You could practice run, slide. You could practice running, sliding, and jumping. You can join that with zip lines. And if you want to get even more advanced with warming up, you can warm up with an enemy by 1v1ing over there or back here. And again, I was shooting at these mannequins. You can shoot at these targets here. You can shoot at these blue ones, the moving blue ones. And if you want to practice snipers a little bit longer, shoot at the moving back ones all the way over there. Warming up should be quick, simple, and it shouldn't be a painful process. It should become a regular routine for everyone because it is so important to have your hands warmed up from whatever they were doing beforehand and ready to play. And quite literally, I do mean warmed up. If you're going to play with cold hands, you probably actually literally want to warm them up because it's going to be a really shitty time if you don't. I hate playing with cold hands. Some people might like it, but the blood doesn't flow fast enough and I can't react as fast. So that's just for me. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like, a comment down below with your thoughts on the video, and of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this, because I've been Sync Gamer. I'll see you all next time. Peace!